Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and the new expansion, the Knights of the Frozen Throne, has arrived, as we can see. So it is now time to open up card packs and see what we can do with deck rebuilds. This is a big turning point for me in Hearthstone with the new expansion that has... Well, I guess it's not even the new expansion. With a relatively new update to the game, you can copy and paste out decks, which means no longer am I forced to make decks to do daily quests to try to get gold, which is a great thing because it's in doing the daily quests that I have been able to afford enough gold to buy 100 packs. So we're going to start here with 106 card pack openings. We'll even do a little bit more because I have a European account and a Asian account that has probably 6 card packs we can open too. Now there was some trickery that was done here, in the sense that you specifically are now allowed to buy old card packs that are wild sets, but you can only do it on the store. And you can only use real money. You can't use gold. So, Whispers of the Old Gods is the oldest expansion. I am a little surprised One Night in Karazhan and Whisper of the Old Gods haven't disappeared in the same step. So, what I'm going to do, there's also been some changes to the thing, to how the metrics that favor whether you're going to get a legendary have changed. So what I want to do is not buy one. I want to buy, well, I wanted to buy 10. So let's start with 10 again for 1,000. And I want to go in orders of 10 to see if that potentially might increase the chance of getting legendaries. They've done this thing now where in your first 10 card packs you're supposed to be guaranteed a legendary. I have 17 card packs. Let's see if that is true or if this is just rumor that I've misheard. So we're gonna have to kind of keep a count here, otherwise I'm gonna end up wrong. Now I've already put out a video where we've looked at every single card, and the cards do look interesting. It is a very interesting expansion. However, I'm not sure any of them that there's enough cards that you would want to make a 100% Knights of the Frozen Throne deck. Like, there's a lot of cards here that will help existing cards, but there's also just not enough. There's only about 10 per hero for Knights of the Frozen Throne. Also, with the gold here, it's my policy on my American account to turn these all into neutral. I do not believe I will ever have a fully gold collection, and so I would prefer the cards just because I'm a little bit obsessive to all be the same. Ideally, I would prefer they get rid of golden cards because even the best of the best players that I've seen don't have full golden collections. Like the streamers, the people that spend hundreds of dollars a month on this game still don't have it. Well, that is a legendary. You will get a legendary in the first 10 cards. Seems to be accurate. First 10 cards of every new expansion. And so here's the first legendary we got, which is a hero replacement for the warrior. And it would be ideal if we got all of those hero replacements because they're the big metric that has been added. They're the big thing. But I'm not sure I'm gonna get them all. I wouldn't be surprised if I only got 3 of them in opening 100 card packs. I will also say you may hear some crackling and noises. That's some, I think, in my opinion, poor choice on sound effects that they've added in the game. I tested it out and muted my microphone and was still hearing crackling, which I think it's just something they're doing for the Knights of the Frozen Throne. We are getting a decent amount of epics, but I think this expansion in particular isn't as big as the previous one. That being said, there doesn't seem like there's that much of bad cards that were added. Almost every card I looked at had some at least good reason to exist, and they weren't just replacements of old cards that have been made wild. I suppose what we're trying to do right now is to see if we could get a secondary legendary in these first 17 card packs. Doomerang is an interesting one. Certainly I want to look at that. I think I understand how it works now. I didn't at first. It might be a very interesting card. So it's also a little difficult for me to keep in mind how well I'm doing unlocking cards, because if I'm getting all these common cards at the end of 100 card packs being purchased, will I have 2 of every common card, or maybe just 1? I believe there's 136, if maybe I'm just picking up that number out of my head, cards in total, which means if a good portion of them are commons, you would be 260 cards. If they were all normal cards where you could have 2 copies and not legendaries where you could only have 1 copy, like let's say there are 260 cards. Well, with 100 card packs, there are 5 cards. Ooh. We're in a weird position, aren't we? I haven't done the math. Am I doing the math right now? If I open 100 card packs, I will have 500 cards. That will be double what needs to be purchased. Am I gonna end up with a ton of dust here? Building up to this expansion, they have been giving us a lot of card packs and a lot of gold. I think Blizzard and the creators of Hearthstone have decided that they wanted to make this a much better experience for people. And like, I didn't get to this amount of gold by buying any of it. I got it by doing daily quests, trading things. They also made it possible to play against friends to get daily quests, which makes it a lot easier. I've been streaming and live streaming Hearthstone a lot lately, and plan to still do that, but ever since I did that, more people have been friending me and more people have been willing to. So this is number 2. Let's go ahead and purchase that. But before we get there, I think it's only worth looking at how much can we disenchant already. We have 8 cards that already have 3 or more, and 1 of them is already a rare. And if we look specifically just at the crafting of this, let's see, crafting mode like this first page with Druid, we've gotten half of the druid cards, practically, almost. We've gotten half of the hunter cards. We've gotten very few mage cards. We've gotten sort of half. It's a little less than half each time, but we can see I'm gonna have them all at 100 card packs. This is if this is the typical experience for most players that have been saving up their money since the last expansion, like me, this is great. Now, they did do something a little bit sleazy because they gave you free wins at Arena, but then they also gave you, I believe, 3 free entries to Arena. So what I'm gonna do here is craft a second one of this in not gold.
Dark path is my destiny.
So with those free entries of Arena, if you didn't buy any extra Arena runs, you would have earned free card packs and free classic card packs, and frankly, with the extra win, you had a much better chance of succeeding. I think I missed a gold somewhere around there, but even in the neutral collection, we've got a significant amount of cards. I may very well have to stop at 50. Like, it may stop making sense to buy Knights of the Frozen Throne card packs, and we may just have to buy classic card packs. It's the classic legendaries that I'm still struggling to purchase. And so I would much prefer to have some classic legendaries, since the classic set of cards isn't, I believe, planned to just as a whole group be banned. Instead, what they're doing is turning specific cards into the Hall of Fame and making them wild cards, making them banned cards for standard play. Banned for standard play. They've so far not technically banned any cards, but they have changed cards to say something different. What we want to see is, in this tin pack, will we get another legendary? Or has that factor already been triggered? Technically, the new guy factor that they have it programmed in to give you a legendary in your first 10 card packs has been triggered. So the next 40 card packs very possibly won't have another legendary in them. And honestly, if I did another 50 card packs on top of that, there's a decent chance that I might only get one more legendary. I was very lucky last expansion to get 3 of the 9 quest cards, but both of these expansions suffer from having very important legendary mechanics that most players won't be able to fully enjoy, it seems. Like, the last expansion had the quest cards, and I don't have all those quest cards. It would cost 1,600 dust to craft each one of them, each per legendary. Whereas Journey to Unguru, which was the last expansion, should have, in your first purchase of that expansion, first card pack, or just as it unlocked, everybody should have gotten all 9 quest cards. And I feel like the same thing is true here. Just in logging in today, I should have been handed all of the Knights of the Frozen Throne hero replacement cards. Like, you would certainly convince a lot of the newer players to better enjoy and experiment if they had all that. So there's 10 card packs, and you can see it didn't go anywhere as well. Now we have a lot more duplicates of rares and commons, and I'm basically just buying dust at this point, hoping to get a legendary more. Here we can see this one can go ahead and be disenchanted for 100, the Stonehell Scavenger, and this one already has one, so I can just disenchant that completely for 100 dust, which will give me up to 1600 dust, which means I could potentially make a legendary. But would I want to make a legendary in Knights of the Frozen Throne, or would I want to get one of the classic cards, which is more likely to last for longer and very possibly be better for you? And see, we have 4 of these cards, and we're slowly filling in, getting closer to the halfway point. Disenchant this one, and we'll just go ahead and create these.
Winter is here, and it's cold.
So I've never seen anybody speculate about this, but I kind of wonder if I did just spent a bunch of dust to unlock all these cards, would it raise or lower the chance of me getting these cards, so that potentially if you unlock something it lowers the chance of you getting the second one, therefore there's a higher chance to get a legendary? If there is some kind of manipulation that you can do like that, it would be amazing, but I don't believe it's the case. I don't think they take your entire collection into consideration. That being said, I also haven't seen a lot of videos where people get a legendary and then they go, oh, I already have that legendary. We have Voodoo Hexer. We'll go ahead and create Voodoo Hexer over here.
The cold don't bother me, man.
Now, this isn't actually changing the amount of dust that you have. It's just getting rid of the gold version. It's actually really stupid in the long run, because eventually I probably will get greedy and want to have a full gold collection, and it will be very, very difficult to get that, because if you try to make a gold version of a card, it costs a lot more dust. That being said, the point at which I would want a full gold collection would also be the point where I have 2 of every single card at least, and then it wouldn't really matter. I'd probably be swimming in dust. But Kriperian recently did have, I believe, over 600,000 dust, and he still wasn't able to get a full gold collection with that. I don't even think he was able to get all the legendaries that he was still missing with that, which just goes to show that this game's dust requirements are way too high, and they need to adjust it. So we have now purchased 20, what was it? Let's just call it 20. It was 21 card packs, and the second run was not as good as the best. They've updated a long time ago where you start seeing your friends open legendaries as they're doing it. This is a shady business tactic to, of course, convince people to purchase more card packs. Like, it's the same as why they announce winners of the lottery, is because if somebody sees somebody has won, they think their chances of winning themselves are higher. They don't inherently announce all the people who lost at the lottery that drawing. Because if people saw the thousands and thousands of people that lost, they'd realize their odds were very low. Similarly, they don't announce every time somebody gets a neutral or a common card. Common. They only announce the legendaries. As far as I know, there's no reason to purchase it all in one go other than to just save time. Like, and make it easier to keep count. So going in packs of 10 makes sense. When we do get good card packs, it feels like you get an epic and a rare a lot of times. So we have now almost opened 30 card packs. I'm gonna have to make that decision. Am I getting good return on investment, or should I go buy normal card packs? My initial plan, when I thought they were going to let you buy the old card packs with gold, was to buy 10 of each of the old card packs that you can't even get except for on the store. That would have been the best way to spend your money, because the older things can only be made with us, which means they're very, very expensive. Buying a card pack and getting them through that would be a much better discount for something that is very rare, or basically out of stock. Have our Blizzard. Alright, we've got 2 now. Blizzard could just be nicer to the new players and the loyal old players and just say, look, if our oldest expansion, let's see, what is their oldest expansion? Besides Classic, their oldest expansion, I suppose, is Nixramas, and then I thought it was Blackrock Mountain, but maybe it was Goblins vs. Gnomes? One of these is the oldest expansion, I'm pretty sure. They should say the Nixramas single players should be free for everybody because they're not selling that to anybody anymore. And they should say, you know what, all our loyal players, let's just give away all the Goblins vs. Gnomes or to everybody. We don't care about, they don't really care about people playing in Wild anyways, and all those cards are wild cards, so it doesn't really affect the standard gameplay at all. It just gives a bunch of cards that they have admitted they don't care about to newer players and old loyal players in a good fashion. Was that that was the exact same card? This is very interesting. Have I triggered something that allows me to get goldens on the same card over and over again? If that's the case, then I'm increasing my dust nicely. I'm 200 dust higher. Before I disenchanted that card, though, I should have clicked this. We have 8 rare extras, 44 common extras. Gotta go back to crafting mode. This menu is still a little bit uncontrollable. So we may have hit the peak. We only got 1 extra for the hunter, 2 extra for the mage, and the mage is still kind of empty. 3 extra for the paladin, no extra at all for the priest, no extra at all for the rogue, no extra, 1 extra for the shaman, it's pronounced shaman, 2 extra here for the warlock, 4 extra for the warrior. We filled that in nicely. And then 8 extra. I suppose we should look at the neutral more than anything, because the neutral cards are the ones that I very specifically don't have that many of. And then, of course, I'm going to have to make the decision. Do I want to spend... Like, I couldn't buy epics with dust. But I could probably buy commons with dust. It only costs 40 to make that. I could get two of every single common in Knights of the Frozen Throne. Well, that's 30 card packs, and the return is not that big. Not as good as it was before. And my gold is going away quickly. I would potentially like to save some of my gold for arena runs. I found this application that's a helper application called Hearth Arena that just tells you statistically what is the right pick on the cards. It's something that probably should just be enabled to toggle on or off in the game itself. And with that, I can play like an idiot, as I call it, and just let the computer and the statistics tell me what is the right card to play. Because I'm not that good at Hearthstone, I'll admit it. I don't know what cards to pick in Arena. I don't know, I kind of know what to play when it shows me some kind of collection. And if I only have 5 cards in my hand, I can certainly probably pick the right choice then. But when Arena just throws random cards in front of my face, I don't know what strategy to go for or what to do. And using Hearth Arena hasn't guaranteed 12 victories with no losses or anything like that, but it has pushed me up to get 7-win victories, 8-win victories, whereas I don't believe I ever even made more than a 3-win victory the few times that I played Arena before then and just got frustrated for losing my money. Inherently, Arena is still gambling. It's actually a pretty good gamble if you can manage to make a 5-win victory or more, because you get a card pack guaranteed, which is worth 100 gold. So you only have to make enough dust and gold to equal 50 more gold, which isn't that hard. It's a good gamble. It is, however, a time commitment, particularly if you're not having fun because you don't have a good arena deck built. But going forward with the Hearth Arena app, I will live stream more arena runs on a pretty consistent basis. However, that being said, I am also now going to, for the first time in my career playing Hearthstone, start focusing on getting up on ranked play. No longer, like I said at the very beginning, are you tethered to making decks to try and get the daily quest done. I can make things that are 100% focused on winning ranked single player, and I would like to have that happen. I have gotten, I believe, to rank 18 is the highest I've ever even made, because I don't put enough time into it, and I never made the decks trying to win. Instead, I would make decks that were trying to play weapons cards because there's a daily quest to play weapons, or I'd make decks that were trying to play taunt characters because there's a daily quest to do taunts. So now we have 12 extra rare cards and 77 extra common cards. Why this bar fills in, I don't know. It seems like it just fills into 100 as if 100 means something. It doesn't increase the amount of dust you get at all. Yeah, that really doesn't make sense at all. Maybe this is the percentage. So if I got more rare cards, this bar would actually go left. Yeah, it's not very informative. If I had one extra legendary card, you'd get 1600 dust though. So you can have as many extra rares and commons as you want. It doesn't really matter. in the comparison. So this card pack opening, we have gotten one Ultimate Infestation, interesting card to play. One card for Druid. Literally nothing for Hunter. Literally nothing for Mage. We've got 2 cards for Paladin. We have the Spirit Lash, which we already have 7 of these, so let's disenchant this gold one for 50 dust. This is ideally why you would like, specifically on classic cards, if you had 2 of every classic card and you just kept opening classic card packs, you would eventually be given golden versions of those that you could turn into dust for nice profit. That would certainly be the rich person's way of getting dust. And of course, if you have a full classic collection in gold, then everything would be extra, and you'd just be able to disenchant all the extra things and get a lot of dust that way. There's room here for a bonus of some sort. Say, if you had 2 gold versions of a card, then it would automatically disenchant your regular versions, or disenchant your regular, or maybe manually when you disenchant your regular versions, you get more dust because you already have 2 gold versions of it. That would be nice, but it's not something that has been implemented. Let's see, we only have 4 new things, and like here's Night Howler. It would be only 40 dust to make right now. It would kind of make sense. If I had enough dust, maybe next expansion, that's what I'll do, is I'll just go through the cards and find all of the, not all the common cards like this, and just create them first time. Disenchant this for 400. And then create this for 400.
Death to the traitor king.
And how many have we opened now? I've lost count. Is this 40 or is this 50? I think this is 40. I think we're gonna have to see this through all the way to 100 card packs and just see what happens. We're getting a smaller return on investment. However, if we overpower this, no, that won't work. I was thinking maybe if I got all of these by buying another 50 card packs of this, that there was a chance I would get 2 legendaries of the same and have a complete collection, and then I would get so much dust back that it would be better than buying classic cards. But I don't believe that's, I don't have enough buying power for that. I think I would need to buy potentially 100 to 200 more card packs to potentially have that happen. I think I may very well need to buy just 100 more card packs. I would need to buy, I'm not going to get all of Knights of the Frozen Throne. I will have a decent collection of the cards. We can already see that that is the case. Mindbreak is an interesting card. It stops people from using their hero powers. This is a good card pack. But it seems like when we get these good card packs, it's trade-offs where you get a couple of rares and an epic instead of one legendary. I'd like to open a card pack and just be like 5 legendaries. Legendary, 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 legendary. But I don't even think that's possible. I don't even think you can get 2 legendaries. Blizzard is in the background, Activision Blizzard, manipulating all of these numbers. And by the way, if you're not paying attention, these are all different people getting a legendary. So there's about 5 different people that have popped up, 5 different of my fans and friends who've popped up, and they're all opening card packs too for the new expansion. And each one of them is getting decently lucky. But then again, they're all probably just getting that first 10 card pack guaranteed legendary, which they've added. So now I have 18 rares and 107 common extras, which is worth about 895 dust, which means I would be over 1600, so I can get 1 legendary card. And I'm gonna probably be very boring and get a classic legendary card, something that I've wanted for a long time. Now these cards are soul bound and uncraftable, by the way, so I can't get rid of those gold ones, if anybody is wondering. Let's go in crafting mode. We're getting less return on investment each time. Less of that, certainly. We only got 2 new cards for mage, 1 new card for priest, and we totally skipped over paladin, which is about as good as it's gonna get. 1 new card for rogue, and 1 new card for shaman. Nothing for warlock. 2 new cards for warrior, and 5 neutral cards. So disenchant this one. Now, because I don't really care about my European or Asian collection, and I'm just never gonna have as many cards as my America collection, which I've been playing for years with. I'm not bothering to disenchant the gold version of those cards. So over the long haul, it will be an interesting comparison to see just how many golden cards I may have had if I'd never disenchanted any of them. But like I said, that infuriates my OCD-ness a little too much. We're gonna do 10 more, but look at this collection compared, like the percentage of cards I've gotten in this collection compared to the last expansion, Journey to Unguru. Because Journey to Unguru, I only opened 50 card packs, and let's see how many cards I'm missing on this. One. I think I only opened 50 card packs. 3, 2, 3, 4. 1 there, 3 there. Let's see. Yeah, Journey to Unguru is roughly the same 10 cards per hero. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages of neutral cards, most of which I do have. So for some odd reason, I'm not even as far ahead as I should, as I feel like I am on the previous expansion. which is disconcerting. Of course, the other comparison, the best comparison, is the classic card collection. Like, what classic cards do I not have 2 of? What classic cards am I completely missing? And you can see classic cards, I'm not really missing any of the cards except for legendaries, and we've yet to see. Am I in crafting mode? Yeah, I'm not in crafting mode. That's the problem. Let's start that again. I have all the druids. I'm missing 1 hero here for 1600. 1 legendary. 1 legendary here for 1600. A very important card to play if you want to play mage. It's been played a lot. Let's see. This guy is another legendary. Maybe not super focused on owning that. This guy is definitely one you probably do want to have in your deck, and I don't. In fact, there's a specific Corpse Stealer card in Knights of the Frozen Throne that works amazingly well with this, because Corpse Stealer will gain Wind Fury if there's a card with Wind Fury in your deck. It will gain, I believe, Charge if there's a card with Charge in your deck. It will gain Divine Shield if there's a card with Divine Shield in the deck, and it will gain Taunt if there's a card with Taunt in the deck. So you have this one card and Corpse Stealer in your deck, and both of them will gain everything. The only thing this doesn't give the Corpse Stealer is Lifesteal, which is something you could put a different card in for Lifesteal. Here's Draxus, destroy your hero and replace with Lord Draxus. Something you would like to have, definitely. This is probably not a super important enraged card to have, but something that will stick around. The classic cards are not going away. Here's a basic legendary that's missing. Here's a Nate Pagel legendary that's missing. So mostly in buying classic card packs, I'm trying to get legendaries. Harrison Jones is not used as much as it used to be, but Reno Jackson I don't believe I have either, and he's still used quite a bit, way too much. The Beast is the card that gets used a lot. I don't have it. There's 3 legendaries right there. Alex Straza is used a lot. I don't have it. This one's not used too much. So yeah, there's about 5 1600 dust classic cards to get, and a decent amount of cards I could probably duplicate and get a second one of. And the permanentness of classic cards makes them more desirable. Oops. Well, then we'll just buy 9 there. So there should be 50 of Knights of the Frozen Throne. We're hoping for 1 more legendary at least, and to fill in all the cards that we haven't gotten to this point. I know I've been doing this card pack opening a little bit differently. Let me know how you feel about it. I'm trying to put a little bit more of a break in it instead of just sitting in silence or doing it all in a run, one long run. Trying to be as logical and scientific as we can be as we're spending money. It's so easy in the real world and in video games to get caught up in the shopping and not think, am I doing the best thing? Should I just save my money? The third option certainly is I could just save the gold. Save that for arena runs. It is possible if you win arena runs, you get 2 card packs or 3 card packs. It's possible in arena runs you'll get more gold than you put in. It's also possible that you'll lose a little bit. It does seem like we're getting a lot of goldens though. And for that reason alone, it might be better to just do what we are doing. Like, the amount of goldens I've gotten seems very, very high. Legendary's a little low, maybe one legendary short, but of where I'd like it to be. Ideally, I'd like to have all the legendaries, but the goldens are very high. So I'm gonna have to make that decision. Do I buy 50 more card packs of Frozen Thrones, or do I buy 50 card packs of Classic and potentially get more dust? We've got another legendary. Nice. So 3 of the potential 9 hero replacements. It's still not great. The thing also is that the hero replacements mostly are good cards, whereas in Journey to Unguru, some of the quests really didn't make the most sense. We now have 1200 dust, which almost, I mean, it's working its way to giving us enough cards to potentially have 2 new expansions. But our return is getting worse and worse. We have this one on Paladin, and then 2 new cards on Warlock, and then 5 neutral cards. What we're slowly doing is filling in the ranks of all the other cards that we're missing. Let's go ahead and disenchant this one. And create this one. So let's now see what happens when we buy 10 of the classic card packs. Now, I haven't given any consideration to buying Journey of the Unguru or Mean Streets of Gadgetzan or Whisper of the Old Gods. There is a decent argument to say go back and buy these card packs while they're still available, because, you know, they're only going to be more expensive later. But until you have a full collection of classic cards, it doesn't make enough sense to do this, because classic cards are still mostly playable in standard play. The only ones that aren't playable in standard play are the Hall of Fame ones, which is barely 10 cards. Nope. 10 card packs here. Let's try this and see what kind of return on investment we have here with this. I can't really go much further, or I'm gonna run out of gold. So almost certainly I own 2 of all of those cards. Now we're going to have to remember what was the amount of dust that we could have gotten before. Yeah, I believe it was 1300. And see, the thing I'm looking for is pretty much just legendaries. And so buying 50 card packs of legendaries, of classics, just chasing after legendaries, seems a little crazy. But it might actually strategically be the best thing to do. And almost certainly I have 2 of all of these cards. So all of this just gets turned into dust. What I'm effectively doing is gambling to win one thing, and everything else is just turned into dust, which isn't probably not the best investment ever. And then you also have to get into the fun factor here. Is this really fun to open classic cards? There's more of a selection in classic too. There's more than the 130 or so cards. So the odds of me getting something I don't have are lower. And you're pretty consistently, if you do Tavern Brawls, always going to be given classic card packs. So you should slowly fill in your ranks. Very, very slowly. So no legendary there. Let's go back to the collection. In this case, that went from, I believe it was 1300 to 1800, particularly because there's 2 epic extras here. So this probably is a smart move to get 200 dust and buy classics. We have this card, which is another 50 dust. We did get 1 gold and 10, and we got a second copy of that. So while it's not as fun, it is often, as it is often the case, it is better to make dust and use dust to create things. If I was to use 100 dust right now to create everything, I would run out of dust pretty quickly. I could get a decent amount of things, but there's no real common cards left that are only worth 40 dust. It's an interesting choice. Choices. The truth of the matter is that the numbers seem to be implying, we don't have enough for our good statistics here since we only opened 10 neutral classic card packs, but the numbers seem to be implying 1805 dust here. Seems to imply that if I open 50 classic card packs, I have a good chance of getting a legendary in classic, which is more valuable than getting a legendary in Knights of the Frozen Throne, because Knights of the Frozen Throne is going to be made banned and wild in 2 years, and I'll have more dust. So if I open 50 regular card packs, then disenchant, I very possibly could come back and get at least every card that is a rare. if not every card that is an epic. That's where it's going to be a little bit iffy. And I suppose, for argument's sake, if we had gotten all of those done, the ability to buy Whisper of the Old Gods, which is here, would be nice. Like, now would be the probably last chance to buy Whisper of the Old Gods cards. It's almost a complete collection, but it's missing some legendaries. And if I'm gonna make things with dust, I might as well make things with dust later. Mostly a complete collection. It also isn't a terrible idea to start to think about the this is weird because I was gonna play this card too, and I want these cards. Oh man, I need these cards for a strategy, so I'd have to buy Mean Streets of Gadgets and interesting. Ooh, trouble. Like 800 of my dust I want specifically for Mean Streets of Gadgets in. So let's just keep it a little varied, I guess. Whisper of the Old Gods. Let's do 10 here. We'll do 10 packs of Whispers of the Old Gods. And then we'll do Mean Streets of Gadgets in. And then we'll do Journey to Unguru. And then we'll do Classics. And then we'll just be out of money. Like, so we'll do a little bit of everything, and we'll see, just to keep variety here. Logically, it still probably is a better move to do classic cards, but I might as well, I guess, do a diversity spread statistic. This is almost like no, that's not what betting the spread means at all. I was gonna try to make a football reference there and was gonna fail. Ref fell horribly. So now we've got a legendary. We got lucky. There's a good chance the reason I got a legendary there is because this is the first time I've purchased Whispered of the Old Gods since the new update that guarantees a legendary in your first 10 card packs. Which, that's very helpful. Golden common, golden rare. We're seeing a lot of goldens. They've definitely changed how often that happens. And that's a great thing. It would have been nice if they came out and said that. Because that's something that Activision Blizzard could have easily celebrated. Look, we've lowered the chances, we've raised the chances of you getting a golden card. Or maybe they're doing something in the background and they see, well, I have this many cards, therefore it's now time to start giving me goldens. If it is true that we're going to get a legendary for every card pack, it is definitely the right move to buy two. So we've now gone up another 300 dust for the Old Gods, and let's go in crafting mode, Old Gods. What did we get new? We got one more card that we already had one of. We have this, which we can disenchant for another 50 dust. We had this, which we can disenchant for 100 dust. We have evolve, 2 of those now. And we have this, which we can disenchant for 50 dust. If you're trying to just build up a pile of dust, one of these small expansions that doesn't have that many cards would be the way to do it. Just over purchase packs and have way more than you need. And then that one legendary, which he's not terrible. And where are we on the disenchant? Like 2 epics, 43 rares, 211 commons. So here we go. 10 card packs here. And bye. Mean Streets of Gadgetzan. If it works the way it seems it works, I'll get a legendary here. Not on first try. Look at that. Everybody should be buying at least 10 of each of these cards. These decks. You are getting a much better return. I don't know if it's doing a golden each time or if, yeah, it's doing that golden animation just because that's what it looks like. I thought for a second there I got 2 legendaries in a row. I was thinking to myself, no way, that's not gonna happen. That's asking too much. But if we do get 2 legendaries and 10 card packs, that would be lovely. We are certainly going around it in a very odd system manipulation way here. I imagine most card pack opening videos would just have purchased 100 card packs of Journey to Unguru. I mean, not Journey to Unguru, but Knights of the Frozen Throne card packs and just been done with it that way. But I really do think this is the better system. I think in the long run, this gets me more cards, it gets me a better variety of cards, and it gets me a lot more dust. Yeah, I'm not specifically thinking we're going to get another legendary. Would be nice. But we are getting rares and epics.
Golden common.
Mean Streets of Gadgetzan and Journey of the Old Gods didn't really have legendary cards that mattered as thematically as much as Journey to Unguru with its quest cards and Knights of the Frozen Throne with its Death Knight cards or hero replacement cards. So 1 legendary for that, which puts us now at getting 2,455. Seems like we only got maybe 200 dust extra that time, which is still pretty good. Let's see, are we in crafting mode? We got this, an extra 1 of those. We got a golden version here for 50 dust. A small time recruits A nice card to have, actually. This golden one, which we can turn into dust. And we've got a second one of these characters, Abysmal Enforcer. We got another golden one, which we can just disenchant for 100 dust. I really need to see if I have Reno Jackson and craft that before I do anything else. I unfortunately didn't get this. And I really, really want this because I'm tired of other people playing Reno Jackson, and I want this in all of my new decks. Shuffle this minion into your opponent's deck. I want 2 of those to ruin a significant percentage of people's ability to Reno Jackson right when I'm about to win. Probably is not a good strategy, honestly. If I could just win before people could play Reno Jackson, that would probably be the better strategy for that. So while we're at it, I want to get 10 Journey to Unguru packs because there's a decent chance I'll get a legendary with that too. And then I'm gonna just spend the rest of my gold for a couple 10 packs of classics. Although Mean Streets of Gadgets Land is a tempting one to go for.
Golden coming.
Golden to start with. Now it is possible that this expansion won't count and I won't get a legendary for this card packs, but it just kind of depends on when they implemented that new rule. I think it was after Journey to Unguru, so there's a decent chance. In the long run, if I pick Weasel Tunneler over classic cards, I'm hurting my ability to play standard, which generally I don't want to play standard anyways, but it is something I still kind of want to keep an eye on. Standard is certainly going to be for newer players, and if newer players fan me and ask me questions of like what's a good deck to build, I would like to stay at least partially in the loop and be able to say, here are the cards that you can play in standard right now. Here's a good standard deck you can play. Whereas if I'm just doing wild, then I'm pretty much only talking to people who probably already know more about Hearthstone than me. I'm pretty sure I have all of these cards. The thing I'm specifically missing in Journey to Unguru is quest cards. We're gonna have to make the hard decisions, though. That's, I suppose, what we need to do before we do anything else. Is make the hard decisions about, should I use the dust to make Knights of the Frozen Throne cards because they're cool and new, or should I make the dust to make maybe 2 or 3 legendary cards that are classic, that have a better lifespan? Do you buy the flashy car or do you buy the dependable car? Now at 2770, it seems like we only got a couple 100 more dust from that. I imagine a reason for that is because the cards I did get, I didn't have 2 of, or they are gold cards. and it doesn't quite count though. We're not in crafting mode, are we? That's the comparison we want to see, is how many cards are left in Journey to Unguru. It's a decent amount still, certainly. A lot of these for 1600 dust. They should have handed those for free to everybody. The idea of a quest and having to earn it is crazy. And half the quest cards aren't even that good, to be honest. Disenchant this for 100 dust. Disenchant this one for 50 dust. I've got a Devil Sword Egg. That's a pretty useless card. Even though I do have a decent amount of cards, I'm still missing a lot of them. There's a lot considering how much I feel I've played this game. So now classic cards. Hoping for those classic things. There's no reason to do it in 10. Let's do it in 20. And I think we'll just keep the 270 dust. Just hold on to that. Now I need to save up for the next expansion to have at least 5,000 if I want to open 50 card packs. It would be nice if I had 10,000 to open 100 card packs like we've done today. Sadly, while you can purchase solo player things, I don't think they're going to make any more of those. And they've never allowed you to use gold to purchase any of these things. And honestly, I can't justify in my mind spending $10 just for a different hero. Maybe if my YouTube channel was super successful, I would start spending real money on buying the older card packs and do this much more often. But that's not the situation right now. In these 20 card packs, I'll be surprised if I even get one legendary. It would be nice if I got 2 or 3. But mostly I'm just rolling the dice. I've probably approached 50 card packs, and it's supposed to guarantee a legendary around 50 card packs if you hadn't gotten a legendary. It's supposed to take pity on you. So in these next 20 I should get one, hopefully, but maybe not. There does seem to be a hard limiter. It would be interesting if somebody actually went over 50 card packs and didn't get a single legendary. I don't think it's possible.
Golden coming. Rare.
And all of these cards we're getting, I probably have them all. A couple of epics. If I have 2 of each of these, that card pack alone, those 2 are going to add a lot of dust. Oh, here's my legendary, which will be interesting because there's a chance, not very high, that I'll get another legendary. And the beast, that is certainly one I wanted. The beast is one to consider. I have 12 more card packs. It's low chance that I'll get another legendary, but it would be nice. Alright, so all the classic cards should just be given to new players. Like, Hearthstone just should say, like on their anniversary, we've been going for 3 years or 4 years or however long they've been going, and just said, happy anniversary! All new players and current players now get all the classic cards, and if anybody already has those cards, give them another copy of it and let them turn it to dust, and they would be happy. Or don't give them a new copy of it, and they still would probably be happy, because there's very few players that would have had a complete collection of the classic cards anyways. Getting a lot of rares, a decent amount of epics. It feels like the game is being very nice to me. It's not giving me the world on a platter, but it's certainly not ripping me off either. You could, if you're paying attention, you can see we're getting some of the same card multiple times. I imagine the algorithm, if it is looking at all my cards in the classic collection, it's just running through its head and going, well, he's already got everything. What am I supposed to be giving him that's new? Blood Knight. I'm not sure I had 2 of those, actually. Maybe I did, maybe I don't. We have 3 more card packs, and we've done more than 100 card pack openings. They haven't all been Knights of the Frozen Throne, but in the long run, it's going to help me better with cards, and it will probably help me even with Knights of the Frozen Throne. Doing Arena from now on will give me Knights of the Frozen Throne card packs, I believe, and doing Tavern Brawls will give me classic cards. I think that's how that works. So where are we now? 3,970. We made a major jump there. Major jump. There was 4 epics that are extra and a significant number of rares that are extra too. So we're talking potentially 4 legendaries that we can craft. And let's see, this we can disenchant for 50 dust because it's just a gold version of something we already have. And this we can disenchant for 100 dust because it's gold. And let's see, we didn't have 2 of the Secret Keeper. This is an uncraftable card. It's not really a way to... I could just be typing in extra right now, I know. I always forget to do that. And there's a ton of neutral cards when you're looking at everything. What a collection. So many cards. There you go. Another 400 dust for the Faceless Manipulator, because I already had 2 of them. And the Beast. I have like 2 golden versions of the Core Hound because that's a basic card. They need to rename basic and classic cards, honestly, because the difference is a little weird. So now the tough decisions have to be made. Well, the first thing that's not tough to do is just disenchant everything for that extra dust. We have 6,500 dust, which is way more than I was expecting. I didn't for a second think I would have that much. I wasn't really even expecting any. And I want to look at neutral legendaries. There's this one is potentially a decent one to have that I don't have, but Reno Jackson, do I have him already, or is he just a wild card that isn't actually a classic card? He isn't a classic card, is he? No, he isn't. That's why I don't see him here. Let's type in Reno, and I think he's a Journey to Unguru card. Results found in other sets. Hey, they've done a new thing. I already have Reno Jackson. Excellent. Well, I don't even have to worry about it, do I? Let's see. And by the way, I could just type in legendary. Legendary. My keyboard's not in front of me, so I have to reach over. Legendary classics that I would like to have. Let's get this one. And let's see if there's potentially something that I would like. Like, this is a great strategy card I would like to have, but not really that useful. I'm not super interested in that one. I do want this one, so I'm going to take this. But see, now I'm already down to 3,300 dust. And so a couple of legendaries, it would be nice to make that, but I'm not going to. Let's now go to Knights of the Frozen Throne and see what we can do. Starting with neutral, anything that we can craft would be nice. I think we need to make the Lich King. I think the Lich King is a crazy card because if I'm understanding him right, he's going to give you a hero replacement card, a random one. And if that's the case, then we need that. We want to play that. So we're going to go expensive to begin with.
Frozen wastes, rise.
So here's the first thing we're going to have to do. We're going to type in common, and then rare, and then epic. Common. And if we see any blue in common cards, we'll craft them. Alright, so no commons. So we now type in rare cards. And we'll start in neutral with rares. Rare, create for 100. We just want to unlock each card, I suppose. 100. We only have 1,500 dust left. $1,300 dust left. I'm surprised. And this is exactly what Kriparian went through when he had 650,000 dust, I believe is how much he had, that he'd been saving up for 3 years. is just as you start making versions of cards, they're so expensive, it goes away very quickly. And I'm only doing one of each card. The file isn't probably a great card to have two of, but I can't really afford to have two of them. And see, I don't even have any legendary cards I can make. The only thing I can do now is a couple epics, and that's it. So I guess these first two epics, this one actually, Corpse Taker's one I wanted to play with, so I'm gonna go ahead and create this twice.
Winter is here.
And that means I can't make any more, so this epic isn't going to be unlocked, and this epic isn't going to be unlocked, and we are kind of done. So, in our strange manipulating of the system, we have probably could make 4 more common cards if we just wanted that, or more of this. We missed this epic card. We missed this legendary card. We missed this epic card. And this legendary card. And this legendary. And this epic. We missed this one. This one. And this one. Overall, not too bad though. We got most of the cards for 100 card packs. It feels like 200 card packs more though would be needed to guarantee you got all of these. Like the price feels very, very expensive, in all honesty. I don't think another 100 card packs would have gotten me to 100% here. I think maybe 200, maybe 250 would have gotten me at least one of everything. Probably 400 to 600 card packs if I wanted everything in gold, and that would still be, I would still have to probably manipulate and craft a lot of things in gold myself to get to that point. There's a lot of greediness here. The file, by the way, I'm going to create another one of these. Did we look at this card? Just kind of quickly showing all the cards that we didn't get. But we mostly did get it, so I'm not happy. I'm not upset. Here's a weird one. No, that's not the one that I was going to talk about. Dead Man's Hand. Shuffle a copy of your hand into your deck. That is a weird one too. That's not the one I was thinking about. Whenever this minion survives damage, summon a random legendary minion. This is an amazingly good card to play, particularly with this, which has a hero power of dealing 1 damage to all minions. You could fill the field with legendaries if you played Rot Face and then used his ability to do 5 damage to him. Well, you could almost fill a field. We didn't get the Prince Kelsith. This whole Prince lineup, I don't know if we got any of the princes. We probably didn't. We didn't get Prince Taldram. I don't know what the strategy of these cards are at all, honestly. We didn't get this guy. Add a random Death Knight to your hand. I don't know what his deal is, but he's a legendary, so Are Death Knights the hero replacement cards? I think they might be. If that is the case, then this would have been a really good legendary to get, and I missed it. Here's another Prince card. I guess probably in the storyline, there's a reason to have all of these princes with the Lich King, but I don't know what it is right now. Destroy all 1-cost spells in both the hands and decks of both players. Interesting card. You could probably synergize with that quite well. So if I went here, since I have 100 dust, there's something I haven't ever looked at. If I just look at common cards, are there any in anything at all that I haven't crafted? Because I could make a decent number of common cards, I believe. Like, they're only 40, so I can make 2 of them. If there's some neutral common card that has slipped by me in every single expansion, it's highly unlikely, but the possibility exists. It's probably not going to be a neutral card, though. If I was to guess, it would instead be one of the hero-specific cards. There's a lot of paperwork and looking through all of this that isn't amazingly fun. Hey, there's one.
Another night on the prowl.
That this is particularly why I have in the past not tried to rebuild decks in between expansions or deal with any of this too much. So I found 2 in the Druid collection and I'm already out of dust. I imagine if there was 2 in the Druid collection, there's a decent chance that there's a couple more that I've missed somewhere. But I'm not seeing them. There's one. Flash heal. Well, I can't do anything with that, though. It would be nice if somehow I had a bunch of dust before the next expansion. I don't know how you get to that point, though, without buying card packs out of water. I suppose what would have to happen is my channel would have to become super profitable so I could buy another 100 card packs for Knights of the Frozen Throne. And then I do that and have so much extra dust ready for the next expansion. And then I'm thinking, go like I am now, find all the common cards and the rare cards of the expansion. Just make them with dust to begin with. And then open card packs and see if that somehow influences whether I get epic or legendary cards. I suspect it probably wouldn't, and I suspect that that is probably a waste of time. The other thing I could type, however, is missing. I believe that is the one. As far as my entire collection, these are all the cards that I still need. I either need another copy of, or I don't have anything. And when you look at it from this negative perspective, it's still a lot. Even though I know I have tons and tons of cards, there is a lot of missing cards too. And mostly today we've filled in the missing Knights of the Frozen Throne, then we've kind of filled in some of the other missing things. But without putting some extra effort into it and opening more card packs, I don't think I'll ever really have an opportunity to fill in all of these missing cards. A lot of these don't even look like they're wild cards, are they? No. Like, some of them are not even wild yet, but they're going to be made wild in probably not too long. I wouldn't imagine it's more than a few weeks, maybe a month or two before they make Knights of the Old Gods and Mean Streets of Gadgetzan wild. Well, the next thing to do is to say goodbye to all of our decks. The only one I'm going to keep is the Druid Helper deck, and everything else is going to get deleted, and we're going to start from scratch. And we're going to make new Druid decks directly built around the hope of winning, and only the hope of winning ranked, and we're going to use all the new cards and all the old cards to see what kind of strategy I can come up with, and that'll be pretty good. But that'll happen in a second. If you're watching live, stay tuned. Everybody else, as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Let me know in the comments how you felt about how I open card packs. Would you have preferred for me to just open 100 cards, or did you like me breaking it up by 10 and then going and looking at the collection? Were you okay with me opening different kinds of card packs, or do you only want to see the new card packs? Feedback is very helpful. Again, thank you for watching. Have a good evening.